Hi, this is Waking Up with Wisdom, and in today's video, we'll share a profound lesson from Buddha about the nature of suffering in this world. One day, Buddha was taking a serene walk along a forest path, immersing himself in the beauty of nature. As he approached a crossroads, he noticed a man in deep grief, praying earnestly. The man recognized Buddha and immediately fell to his knees. He cried out, "Lord Buddha, life is truly bitter and painful. I was once a wealthy man, living a life of ease and happiness. But through trickery and deceit, those I trusted took everything from me. Now I am a wretched man with no one to turn to. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can be liberated?" Buddha pointed to a mango tree by the road and said, "Do you see that mango tree? You must be reborn as many times as the number of mangoes on that tree before you can experience the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world." Seeing the dozens of mangoes hanging on the tree, the man gasped, "But Lord, I have lived a righteous life, following the precepts. Why am I condemned to suffer so much longer?" Buddha sighed and said, "That is the way it must be," and continued his walk. As he walked further, Buddha encountered another man praying by the road. This man too fell to his knees and cried, "Lord Buddha, life is indeed bitter and painful. I have lost all my loved ones to death. Now I am forlorn and lonely. Life is full of anguish. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can know the bliss of liberation?" Buddha pointed to a field of wildflowers along the road and said, "Before you can know the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world, you must be reborn as many times as the number of flowers in that field." Seeing the hundreds of flowers, the man cried, "But Lord, I have done many good deeds and followed your teachings. Why must I endure so much more suffering?" Buddha sighed and said, "That is how it must be," and continued on his way. Eventually, Buddha came across a tamarind tree. Another man fell to his knees and cried out, "O Lord, life is full of suffering. During the day, I toil like a slave under the scorching sun. At night, I have nothing to sleep on except a pile of grass on the cold, damp earth. Life is nothing but hunger, thirst, and loneliness. How many more times must I be reborn into this world of suffering before I can know the bliss of liberation?" Buddha looked up at the tamarind tree, its branches bearing countless leaves, and said, "Look at the tamarind tree. Before you can know the bliss of liberation from the sufferings of this fleeting world, you must be reborn as many times as the number of leaves on that tamarind tree." As the man gazed at the thousands of leaves on the tamarind tree, his eyes filled with tears of gratitude and joy. "How merciful," he said, prostrating himself at Buddha's feet. To this day, tamarind seeds symbolize faithfulness. In life, 1,000 lifetimes may seem like an eternity to some, but for others, it can pass in the blink of an eye. Do not dwell in pain or suffering or in hard times, because just as the sun rises and sets each day, so too will your suffering and happy days exchange with each other. Suffering is a given, but how we respond to it and to hard times is what defines us as humans and shapes our character. Be happy even during the worst days, and remember that after the darkest hour of night, the sun always reappears. This story teaches us that suffering is an inevitable part of life. However, our response to suffering defines our character and our journey. By maintaining faith and a positive attitude, we can endure hardships and look forward to better days. The Buddha's message reminds us to find strength in the face of adversity and to understand that suffering, like happiness, is transient. This is Waking Up with Wisdom Stories. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.